well, including the home living needs, the office and stationaries, even sports. That's a huge increase as well. And then we are preparing as well. You know, the hit here is also impacting the sellers. So we onboard, we work with the government very closely to onboard the merchants as well later. So what actually Tokopedia do until now and did at the first months of the virus announcements, we know that the situations is impacting not only people's certainty about the health situations, but also the financial stability. So we are providing like free shipping as well, and keep updating about the COVID-19 related info from the government, and also uh, including the free shipping, we are expanding to more cities as well, including the part of cashless society. We are empowering cashless payments, and not only that. We are also supporting people to pay everything online, like bills, taxes. So the things that they previously pay in bank or ATM, now they can pay through Tokopedia. Including, we are maintaining the supplies as well. So more and more shops are onboarded, including we ask the merchant to regularly update the stocks as well, including give a transparent and competitive pricings. And most importantly, we have a standby strong team who are ready to support all the buyer and seller during these difficult times as well. So it's not just for the buyers. So we know that the responsibility to ensure the Indonesian economy sustainability is also in our soldier. We know that many offline stores are struck with this situation. So on top of big program for small business onboarding, we also have like a provide, some kind of discount on service fees for seller in some numbers of categories like health or anything else that can support the situations, and permanently close thousands of online stores and banning hundreds of thousands products profiting from the COVID-19. And for the buyer, we also could create donation platform to help the medical workers. And over 400,000 people had donated, and more than 5 billion donations in Tokopedia, including our support to the construction of emergency hospital, and also donation for the rapid test as well. And on March, this is the impact. As you can see on the slides as well, we have a big transaction increase in terms of health and personal categories. And we have also many new sellers as well. And you see there's some analogy there. If hand sanitizer have traveled the far distance, they have traveled the 3,700 kilometers to reach Merauke. But most importantly is the pink one there. We close thousands of stores. We offer free shipping so people can safely stay at home, and provide free discounts as well, including support the offline stores. To rebuild their economy by having them on board and successfully reach our 90 million active customers. This is the most, I think, one of the interesting slides as well, Tim. I think we haven't yet published this info, but we've seen the increase as well in terms of traffic in our support channels. We've been witnessing the spike of 40% strongly and keep increasing strongly month by month. And this is, I think, we have been reaching the new normal. People have been shifted from the offline to online right now. And most of them are coming from the new buyer and sellers as well, who are newly exposed with the online and e-commerce mechanism, and including the growth in several product categories, and also some, it's the impact of some regulations as well from the local governments. Say for some areas has local lockdown, so some courier is hardly to do some pickup or deliver the products as well. And what I want to emphasize here is also our relationship with customers is beyond the customer service. It's the reasons as well I keep stating it as customer engagement. I sometimes notice as well in one long interactions, communication between our team and the sellers on how they can increase the sales, on how they can introduce more product, on how they can upload a good product that can be interested to other buyers. This is something that I've seen on the daily basis as well. So having this fact, we know that we must change the way we do things. We cannot just applying the same way we do things before. So this is the changes as well, starting from number one. I think the most of the contact center practitioners know that many of the operations are channel based, but we shift to a service based situation. So previously we have a channel social media, email, and also live chat dedicated to handle all type of problems. Now we have like a service-based kind of things, like focusing on physical goods, focusing on digital goods, focusing on logistic problems, but they have many challenges inside it. And given the fact of speed solution is now more important than ever, problem complexity is also increasing. So for C2C like us, more than 90% of problem is specific to the third-party dependence as well. So cross-channel customer is less than 5%. So we found by having this channel management is easier than the knowledge management. People having a fast response right now with a good solutions. And number two is, this is something that I'm also proud about. Well, for this one, we are really on the crossroad back then. I know for the operations, we have the accuracy on team availability versus the call forecast or contact forecast is important, including the fast escalation, solution brainstorming, which mostly happen on the floor, not mentioning the system securities as well, need to be redesigned. People used to work on the floor together. Now they work from home. We've been rolling out 100% work from home for the teams as well. And for notes, this is the fastest and the most biggest scale for the tech company in Indonesia, especially where I'm saying it, we are a service company right now. And in less than a week, the process and system redesign are deployed. And here we are until now, actually. More than 100 customer care team are working from home remotely in a very effective manners. Yes, 100%, zero service disruptions, stable metrics, and most importantly, 100% safe and healthy team member, 100 employee are happy. And what I'm trying to tell you as well, we have an increase year on year compared to June last year is 75 increase in traffic as well, but 0% increase in CS team. Next, we can't do it as well. I mean, we can't. That's not going to happen effectively if we don't put our first guard in here, the automation and bot. So we have like a bot, 4 bot capabilities. I just give two example here. One of the online dispute bot, which is specific to C2C e-commerce. Previously, 100% of this interaction is handled by human agents. Now 50% of load is handled by the ResoBot. We call it ResoBot. So buyer and seller can agree on their disputes, having agreed solutions, whether it's refund or return or exchange the product, they can agree on that and facilitated by our ResoBot. It's delivered high CSAT, and most importantly, 50% of the load now handled by them. Second one is a chatbot. We have a 3I principles there: interface, integration, and intelligence for our chatbot. I mean, yes, you have a good, you need to have a good UI UX for interface, but if it's only serving the FAQ, means nothing as well. I mean, the bot has to be smart as well. That's why you need to integrate it with all internal APIs and make them capable to handle the complex issues. For example, where is my order? Why I haven't received my order goods? So the bot can check where is the product right now. So sorry, sir, your product is delayed, and now in Jakarta warehouse already, and estimatedly to be delivered to your house in 3 hours from now. That's the capability of the bot as well. So it handle a huge traffic as well, including the deflections, more than 60% traffic. And I always telling the team as well, the bot there is not to replace you, but to promote you to handle more complex issues as well. Number 4 is, what we've done in social media as well. This is a bit unique, Anissa and team as well. I mean, we've been piloting the bot here, but the people in social media don't really, responsive to bot. I mean, we have a special set of customer in here, which is different from others. So instead of using bot, we are using customer to do our automation for us. So we encourage the customer to help other customers. So we give them some gift as well if they can help more and more customers. So that's the best part of automation that we have, including the education heavy and practice service based on the current topic, the hot topic that we have right now. Which is, for example, we have a limitation or blocking in some complex, so the courier cannot go inside. So we inform the customer that we have a delay in deliveries as well, and we adding the proactive with the protective customer engagement. So in each product page that we have, we are encouraging people to report any product that happens, say for example inflated price, the rights violations, something that really not allowed by the government to be sold as well. People can report that, and our team can react on that as well. So let me pause here. What you all see in the customer service report, it's just tip of the iceberg there. It's just a small, tiny part actually on what happened in your customer universe. So that's what really happened to me. Why I also keep finding things that why this is not found before, yeah, why this is not shown in our report. So I asked the team to do the dive in every day, dive, and dig deeper. Even sometimes customer just write Topet or Tokped in their social media and complaining about us, not really taking our account or at Tokopedia Care or Tokopedia. That's a lot of them. They just want share the bad things about your brand. Sometimes spill out everything that they think about that brands, and that's millennials. I mean, that's why I asked the team to see the big part of the iceberg there. How we do that? Yep, we are using the social listening tools as well. That fourth screen there, the combination of social media team, corporate communication teams, customer care team, CX team, including the leadership team, seeing what actually customers are saying on the social universe. So this is the reason that we need to do this every day. We can also find some small sparks of fire to be managed very quickly before it goes viral. Nowadays, people can just write hashtag uninstall brand to deliver your big brand crisis, right? That's serious. So even including inputs from the customer there about the masker kind of thing that report, we act on that. Even they don't really put at Tokopedia or at Tokopedia Care in their tweets, including surprise for some user who are promoting their shop but forgot to put the link of their shop in Tokopedia. We add the link there, and she's quite surprised and happy about it. And now that fourth screen becoming more beautiful right now, because we've been seeing a good impact on that as well. Not only the social universe, not only the social mentions, not only all the things about social media, but a real-time performance of your team. This is something that that really a treasure for us right now. We can act very quickly whenever I have a deviations on every performance in the team, especially when they're at home right now. The dependencies on internet, they use like tethering from phones as well. It's kind of hard for the team to react, by the way. So we know exactly, oh, some team in this service having a bad response time. I call the team leader on what happened, or they can add another support from other teams as well. That's important right now. A real-time feedback and insights. How is it in terms of performance? I may say it's looking good. Customer trust us even more. Even we've been facing some difficult times back then. Still, the positive perceptions is there. You can see some of the tweet there. People are still appreciating. They know that the team works is super hard right now. The difficult situation is not only faced by our customers, buyer and seller, but our team as well. They also worry about their conditions, by the healthiness if they go outside. So we facilitate the whole thing so they can work 100% work from home. I'm not saying about small scale, hundreds kind of things. It's more than 1,000 CS staff. It's a big job delivered successfully by the ops team, by the tech team, and by the HR team, people team as well. That's a good collaboration, by the way, including the appreciation on the proactive and proactive engagement. People, still feeling safe on the transaction using Tokopedia. How about the metrics? Actually, this is the first time for me as well to roll out the 100% work from home. But I'm expecting the decline, by the way, in terms of response time. But I've been seeing people, I mean, the team is, have a productive times as well, still maintaining the whole metrics like customer satisfaction, response time, and also the first contact resolutions. And most importantly there, even we have a big increase in terms of traffic, we still have a zero growth in manpower. That's good for business, by the way. That's where your CFO or your CEO or even your COO appreciating your work actually. So you have like a double whammy effect, positive effect, maintain your customer trust, and the impact on the business as well. Yep, we've won the award several times as well, including some feature, appreciation and feature involved for the best CX and automations. But we really feel that the award that we need to win is still the customer's heart. I mean, especially during this time, we need to be closer to the customers as well. The conclusion that I have, in summary, the big shift in customer lifestyle, behavior, and the new normal now carry a big challenges and learning for us. This is a big learning for me and team as well. First time for me as well, and we're not expecting this is to be repeated again. Where the alertness to see what's coming, the adaptability to that insights very quickly, and a good agility in your people, process, and technology to change the strategy to shift to do new directions is super important right now. So we realize that we are running a business of trust, where the role of customer excellence as the company's front guard and the closest one to the customers to make them feel safe and secure right now is more essential than ever. I think that's for me. That's the end of our roller coaster journey during these past 3 months. And thank you so much for watching. And thanks, Anissa. I hand it over to you. Enjoy your day.
All right, thank you very much, Pak Rudy. It's a very insightful presentation. I'm still trying to digest all the numbers in those slides. So yes, we have already begun to see questions coming in our Q&A box. So I think we can start answering them, Pak Rudy.
Yep. Let me check as well on the Q&A.
I think we can start with the first one. Both of them are from Anonymous. So the first one is saying, for the 70% millennials who don't create customer queries and churn, how do you keep them engaged and still ask them to give their feedback?
All right. We found out that, those millennials, even though that they're not really tagging your account to submit the complaints, but I found out that, they're very happy when the brand appreciating their feedback, or even know whenever even they don't really tag our accounts. The surpriseness effect, and now even the tweet goes positively viral. I mean, they really appreciate it. Oh, I'm very proud that my tweet is, the replied by Tokopedia. Even I don't really tag them, by the way. That's quite surprising, but so far the positive impact is there, and we can engage with them as well later on. Not only sending the complaints about us, they help us as well to do, answering the complaints for other users as well, even their friends. I mean, that's something that they like right now. I mean, they don't really, like to submit the complaints to customer care, but if that discussions has been engaged in social media, talking about the brand, that's why we see sometimes now people are, discussing about, X versus Y, X versus Y. What is the comparisons? I mean, that's something that people really like right now, instead of like, discuss it on the, super channels.
Yeah, so basically it's like, as brands, we need to be able to, like, for example, in the context of social media platforms like Twitter, we don't just see it when our names are mentioned, but we also have to see it when people are throwing shades at us, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it requires some level of sensitivity with trends, and then with what people are talking about there, and then what they meant when they say X, then they actually meant Y. So yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes what your report telling is not necessarily what they seem. I mean, what they really mean to be. I mean, sometimes you need to check and reconfirm again with that customers. Is that really what you mean? Sometimes they're just saying it in other words as well. So talking to the customers, even though you have a full online channels, is still very necessary right now. So that's, even though we don't have like a hotline inbound call, but we do the outbound call to really check what the customer talking about us.
Okay, I see. Now we can move on to the next question. This is quite in line with what we're discussing now. It's also from Anonymous. How do you analyze chatbot data and social media conversations? Do you have real-time analysis on this, and also ticket system associated with the feedback? So I think this is more on the details on the process itself.
Yeah. We do have a specific monitoring on the chatbots as well. We're measuring the fallback rate as well. We are measuring the deflection rate as well. We've been seeing, say, for example, one interaction served by bots. We're checking that tickets from that particular customer name or customer email, whether they come back again to other channels or goes through to another live agent channels. If not, then we consider it as a solved problem. We're also measuring CSAT on each and every conversation in that bots. So whenever customer having a bad customer satisfaction score, we analyze whether this is some inaccuracy on the intent or some kind of misunderstanding in terms of expectation from the customers. And the response rate is quite big as well. It's more than 30%. So we know that sometimes when customer put a bad scores there, we need to do something on that as well.
Okay, I see. All right. So for the next questions, I see a group of questions that are quite similar in terms of the topic. So it's basically about doing customer engagement for a small team. So the first question is from Anonymous. Do you have any advice or recommendation for very small startups with no dedicated CS team?
I think that's it's different with Tokopedia. Tokopedia when they started, the CS team is one of the first 4% in this company. By the way, that's something that's incredible vision by our founders as well. I mean, they know that the importance of customer service from the very beginning of the company, age. But my suggestions, if the startup doesn't have any, dedicated customer service is not a department, Anissa. It's a mindset, by the way. People, even in Tokopedia, William, Leon, and all the chiefs there, Melissa, Patrick, sometimes still accept the complaints as well. And they react on that positively and try to solve it, and not just stop it in there, but also following up to the product team, the tech team, on how to prevent this from happening again, even though only small one complaints. That's the DNA of focus on consumer that we have from the top to the down level. So not only customer service is just handling like, tip of the iceberg there, but the biggest part of the iceberg is handled by the whole team collaboratively. So I think the product team, the business team, the tech team as well need to act as a customer service as well, because all the feedback you need to hear about what you've been built, right?
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's a great insight. Customer service is not a department, it's a mindset. Okay, so there's another question that is also related to customer service for small startups. It's from Muhammad Adam Samsudin.
Yeah.
Hi, Muhammad. He asks, what social listening tools do you recommend for small companies to use?
Okay, this is interesting question, by the way, Anissa. I think I've been receiving many questions about this from the customer experience practitioners as well. I don't want to mention any brand here, but some of the brand also having a complex listening. They can crawl to the social universe even more details. But the most important thing is sometimes I've seen that a company using a big brand name, but they don't really know bahasa, right? People, sometimes have a conversation in bahasa, even not only bahasa. Sometimes they using Japanese. Sometimes they're using like local language as well. The enrichedness of listening tools is different from one brand to another. So I've been seeing like a local startup as well start to do the social listening tools, and I don't think that's expensive. But if you're using like big brand, is there start to be like more expensive on your, and having a heavy burden on your pocket as well. So what I can recommend, I'm sorry, I don't want to name any brand here, but I think local version of social listening tool is starting to pop up right now. I think receiving some emails also from them.
Okay, that's great. Now, I also have questions regarding customer service for small startups here.
Yep.
So let's just say I have a startup and then I want to start, I think I'm ready to build my own customer engagement team. So do you have any advice on what are the things that I should consider? Like, for example, what kind of person should I hire for this person? And then how do I build like a system, a working system for this team? So do you have any advice on that?
So I think when you start to the customer service team for small startups, I mean, let's seriously start with using a CRM system. I mean, don't ever start to use have a manual recording like a GC kind of things. I mean, they're not expensive, by the way. I'm saying that so many small startups start to do some small CRM as well. Even your tech team can do some kind of small development. What I'm saying about the record management, the ticket management need to be very serious on that, because that's our promise to the customers. That's first. And about the mindset, I think all the mindset, even we have a DNA of focus on consumers, Anissa, that's not a DNA for customer service team as well. That's for the whole team in Tokopedia. So meaning that the customer service team is not there to manage the tickets, but they act as a customer ambassadors to talk collaboratively to the product team and tech team to see what really happened on the product team, to see what really happened on the tech that we deliver to the customers. This is the problem. Can we make it better instead of waiting reactively for the tickets or complaints from the customers? So we can collaboratively work with tech, product, and even collaboratively work with the customers as well. We invite the customer, by the way, in a monthly basis to talk about our products, and we invite the product team and tech team on the same room as well. Even now, we have a regular, before COVID, VP and chief as well act as customer service every month.
Okay, great. All right, so we have more questions coming in, and after we talk about small companies, now we're moving to mid-sized companies. So there's another question from Anonymous. Do you think it's useful to have a customer experience survey platform which can be integrated with various channels and get real-time customer feedbacks and insights? Traditional consultancy is very expensive, so I want to know if there are any affordable CX survey platforms. So yeah.
All right. I'm very sure this anonymous attendee is a CX professionals. I think a customer voice, sometimes you need to ask them, right? Not all customers, like some of the customers are really silent. They don't really talk in social media. They don't really talk on the complaints. Sometimes we need to proactively come to them, ask them how is their feedback about our service and the products as well. And answering the customer experience survey platform, which can be integrated to the various channels. Yes, that's, I may say, yeah, from my perspective as a CX professional, a must-have things. Otherwise, the feedback that came today may no longer relevant if you just receive it or act on it 2 days or 3 days from now. People, may go to another platform. I mean, to be honest, Anissa, the switching cost for a business like us is ₹0, right? It's not like you have a car and you can switch to another brand when we don't like this brand. But for us, you just uninstall this app and install another apps and make a purchase there. That's something that we really need to act very fast instead of waiting. People can switch to, sometimes they have in the folder, app from A, B, C, then D, and just the best price on it. I mean, that's the reality right now. So act on the customer feedback is need to be done very fast. So the integration on the survey tool to the whole CRM system is a mandatory, I think.
All right. Okay, great. So yeah, you mentioned something about switching here, and then our next question here also asks about digital transformation. So the question is, first of all, do you see any distinct differences in terms of customer engagement before and after COVID? And then also, what can you advise for business that are considered conventional, who have to suddenly transform into a tech or digital business because of this?
Well, I couldn't see the question here, but I can clearly hear from you, Anissa. Yes. Before and after COVID, customer expectation is a bit of increasing. Their emotional level start to increase as well. So we really need to act very fast whenever they send us a complaints. It's not, I'm not saying that we act very fast every time, but at least if we are taking them late, we are saying sorry and act on the actions in a very fast manners as well. Because compared to other situation before COVID, yeah, you bought something online and it doesn't come, you can have other option to go outside and find it offline, right? But now you just stay at home waiting for it and just keep calling or emailing the customer care team asking, where is my product, where is my package, where is my package, where is my package, every time. Even the seller, the level of uncertainty right now is becoming very big as well. I mean, they have their offline shop closed and cannot be open. The only way they can uplift their economy is through the online. So we have increased in terms of questions, expectations, consultation from the seller and buyers as well on how they can get a positive situations from Tokopedias as well. What's the second question, Anissa?
Second question is your advice for conventional business who had to suddenly transform into digital because of COVID.
All right. The digital transformations, again, I need to be honest here, is a mindset. It's more on the culture rather than technology. I mean, technology and digital you can buy if you have money. I mean, you can just switch your technology from on-premise kind of things to a digital and fully cloud-based system. It can be done. I mean, I've worked in telco for 10 years, and I've been seeing that how struggle we are at that time to move from traditional technology company to digital, right?
Mhm.
So technology can be switched at any time as long as you have a good money on that. But if your people is not really ready to work or digitally, to have a mindset that digital is different, to have that agility, adaptability, or even alertness that I mentioned in the last slide, that's nothing. Just wasting of money is there.
Okay. So everything is all come back to the mindset of the people who are behind.
Exactly.
All right, okay, because I think we can relate that to the next question coming in here.
Yeah.
So it's from Anonymous, and the question is, do you think chatbot works? So how effective is chatbots to handle?
Okay. It depends actually. I mean, I know that the attendee here is saying that in the experience it's not very useful as well. Yeah, it depends. I mean, some company create a chatbot is more on the the business pressures, right? They need to do a cost savings as well. So they put some deterrent on the live channels, on the live agent channel to move them to the chatbots. And somehow the chatbot is not really answering the questions. But in our case, uh, we're not really opening the full chatbot to the whole customer right now, Anissa, because we know you need to be very, very careful on opening it to the whole customer base. You need to be very intuitively works and solving the problems. In our case, like 90% of the case are sometimes beyond the control of chatbots as well. So for example, the seller haven't processed the order. So it exceeds the SLA. Sometimes the logistic company or the courier sometimes just lost somewhere and we couldn't find it, which need a human agent to intercept that bot conversations. So as long as you can create a way out for the customers to ask for escalated supports, that still works actually. I mean, some of the company know the pattern of the repeated questions, know the pattern of the question that can be answered by bot, and don't push them very much, by the way. But it works. Consistency in terms of fast response, both have it.
Okay, all right, let's see. So there's another question regarding SOP here.
Yeah.
What's the SOP on response time on social media comments and chatbot complaints? Because it's very
While
fast.
the expectations I mentioned earlier on social media space is different from the regular channel that we have. People demanding for a fast response in social media, so that's the reason we are responding very quick in Twitter. We're responding very quick in chatbot as well, because that's the key parts actually. I mean, people tend to post something in social media, that's for sure. They're demanding for a very fast response on their problems. So we have right now is like they need to answer in 15 minutes. So we measure how many percentage of 15-minute response to that situations. But for bot, is like we don't have the SL. They need to answer it like immediate basis, like seconds. That's different between bot and humans as well. They don't really relate to your capacity. Bot don't really depending on your team or forecast or incoming traffic. So it's more scalable to any situations.
All right, okay. So now the next question will be like a continuation from that question. Let's
Yeah.
just say that now you have the key insights from the customers. How do you synthesize key insights from customer to provide to product team? So this is all about collaboration between the team, I think.
Exactly. In our case, Anissa, I mean, we work very closely with the product and tech team as well. I asked their senior leadership team to be a CS every month, so they know that the pain points from the not only for the customers but for our CS. They just sometimes they're quite surprised as well. They thought everything is okay, but when they see the tickets, they see the complaints for the customer, it's as simple as just asking on how to register, for example. That's something that really surprising us as well. So collaborative works with the product and tech team is done in a very regular basis. So we put some metrics as well there is the NPS for them. So every time they have a complaints, every time they have a decrease in NPS, they need to check actually what kind of problem that that happen to the product and tech team as well. Even we have a special group as well with all the CS product, including the chief level, to discuss anything about the input from the customers. That's need to be done on a real-time basis.
Okay, I see. Okay, so for the next question, I want to discuss things that are a little bit more philosophical, we can say. So this one is from Daryl Chung. The question is, how do you say no without saying no?
Well, how do I say no without saying no?
Yes.
In the context of customer experience, I can, saying no by recommending something that I think fits for that customer needs, and convince them why that's important for them. Because I've seen some question as well there. What is the mistake that you've been done in the customer experience professional, right? I really thought previously that Anissa, customer is king, right? That's related to your question, right? Customer is king. But we have a customer as well there who really trying to take advantage from other customers. So we need to do something. We need to treat them as not as king, but really need to, say, for example, we shut down their shop and really ban them from do any activity in our platforms. That's the situations. We put the customer experience, the real customer experience rightfully, and do the things right for all the customers.
Okay, all right.
Oh, that's a tough question, by the way.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, but it's a good one. Okay, so would you like to answer the other one about the biggest mistakes you have made in dealing with customers recently, and what you learned from them and what we can all learn from that?
The biggest mistakes I've been dealing with the customers, I think we, as I mentioned before, that we really think that customer is king, right? But we really need to see which king need to be followed, which king need to be, recommended, that they can do a proper things later on. So I really feel that taking, customer is king, so you need to give them everything, you need to do everything for them is something that sometimes a customer care, have a big mistakes on there as well. So really analyzing the feedback, where it come from, whether it is something that really need to act. Sometimes when you see the social media, it's not all the customers there. Sometimes they have a competitors buzzer as well. So you need to really be careful on that as well. Not our customer, it's your customers.
Okay. I see. So that's why it's very important to read between the lines, right? Like what we
exactly. That's right.
Okay, I see. So yeah, the next one is we have a question here regarding, I think it's related to awareness on the importance of CX, because the question is about people are spending a lot on marketing research in Indonesia, but why are they not spending as much on CX? How can CX get the board seat and the CEO agree to spare more budget and focus on this?
Okay, on this, let me carry some of the experience, not only in Tokopedia, but also my experience in other companies as well. Yes, people spend a lot of money on marketing research, but not on CX. But I really found that when you rely only on marketing research, you're not really see things on the ground, right? Sometimes in my day previously, we were in the crossroad as well. All the marketing campaign, all the products that have been built is also already following what marketing research has done. But the take up is not really good, and we found that this is not your customers' need. By the way, we sometimes really relying on the the capability in data that we have. We have algorithm in data. We have internal business intelligence in data, but we didn't really ask the customers on what they really need. That's sometimes the biggest mistakes. The marketing research has been done. So I've seen as well. They try the marketing research try to correlate with the real customer experience research as well. So that's the consolidated item need to be included on the product improvements as well. And about how can CX get a board seat on the company, I think most of the company right now is start to focus on the customers as well. CX is part of the company's, board of management as well. Some of the company I've seen, they have achieved a customer experience as well. So even they don't have it, I think, again, Anissa, it's back on the culture. I mean, I really feel that the Tokopedia CEO chief level right now is really focused on the customers, not just on the wall, but they really live it. They really do it, and they really focus on it as well. So even in a very tough situation right now, we still feel that the chief see the customer care and the customer engagement team is the most important part of the companies as well.
Okay, all right, I see. So yeah, and then there's a question here. I think this is very specific to CX professional.
Yeah.
Is there any CX community or network where all professionals can interact in Indonesia, especially? Is it whether it's fine? Yeah.
I've seen some of the small community in Indonesia. I think we've been planning as well to build it in a very serious, way in Indonesia. But in regional, they have it, and even they have like a professional certification on that as well. But in Indonesia, I'm still seeing that they have like a specific contact center community, customer service community only, but not on the CX level where they seriously share any best practices, share any difficulties on the ground about CX, because CX is beyond customer service. By the way, I mean, you start to react practically, you start to engage emotionally with the customers, so then later they can be part of the brand ambassador and brand advocates as well. That's CX, I think, from my perspective, and I think that's a good idea as well, Anissa. I think we need to have a CX community as well in Indonesia.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as soon as people are getting stronger awareness about why this is very important, I think it's a great way for people to learn from each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also curious about learning. Let's just say that someone here wants to discover that, oh, CX is my passion. I want to build a career based on this. And what would be your advice for them to support their learning process?
So I think some of the CX professionals started, most of them from the customer service professionals, and they extended to the customer experience professional. But I've seen some successful CX professional also coming from the marketing background, from the research background as well. And I mean, they can combine it, but I think when you are coming from the customer service, from the operational background, you need to really step up and get yourself out from the operational trap. Sometimes when you are too long in the operations, you seems to know everything that cannot or can be done, right? And sometimes that's limit your imagination to interact with your customers. While CX is about explorations, it's about relationship marketing as well, and how we can engage to the customers in a very positive manners as well. Even we can give a surprise, we can practically engage and get like a brand like Apple, or they have a good strong fan base, right? That's when later your brand can connect emotionally to the customers. That's true customer experience.
Okay, I see. Now, so there's another question that is interesting here. So what are the KPIs of a CX head?
All right, I have a CX head as well. Even for the business unit in Tokopedia, I mean, they're not only having like a business metrics, but also they have like how many complaints that you're created from any transaction that happened to your products. So complaint per transaction ratio is there. So one of the key metric is on how we can reduce that complaints per transaction ratio. That's one of the CX head KPIs as well, including the NPS, including the product improvement initiative that you've been doing collaboratively with the product on how many, as well, a positive mention from customers in the social media. That's something that we've been measuring right now and until now, and still strongly embedded in the head of CX KPIs.
Okay, all right, I see. All right, so yes, I think we're about time now. So I'm going to make a short conclusion about what we have discussed here. So the main idea here is that customer engagement is more than just a department. It is a mindset that everybody in the company, from the CEO to the staff, has to imbue and has to basically put themselves in the position of the customers. And then also when it comes to understanding your customers, we need to be able to read between the lines. So cannot just take everything literally. And yeah, so is that basically the world of customer engagement is a whole big process. And there are different ways companies from smaller one to bigger one can tackle this, but all of them is a combination between using the right tools, implementing the right startups, and then basically just being passionate about your customers. Right. So is there anything you'd like to add, Rudy, to our audience?
I think that's all from now, Anis. I think from the question here, I really feel that people are getting more excited about customer experience, and even so that how we can uplift the customer experience, not only in terms of delivering a good customer experience, but on how delivering it profitably also for the companies. That's one of big homework as well for all of us, the customer experience professionals.
All right, great. Thank you, Rudy. So
thank you, Anissa. Thank you, e27, for having me as well.
Great. Right. So before we end this session, I would like to remind all of our attendees that next week, we're also going to meet at the same time, same Zoom link. Basically, we're going to have the next episode, which is a Meet the VC episode. So this is one of our more popular webinar series. Basically, you get to listen to presentation from venture capital firms to understand their investment philosophy, and you can ask them questions. And next week, we're going to have iGlobe partners. So get to know them. Make sure you don't miss it. It's going to happen on June 18, 2 p.m. SGT. And yes, I would also like to remind everyone that we will send out a survey shortly after the webinar. So please take time to let us know about the other topics that you wish to hear about and how we can improve this. We will also.
Anissa, I think if there is an unanswered question, they can reach me to my LinkedIn as well.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah. Okay, so if people want to reach out to you, they can find you on LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, great. And then we would also like to remind the attendees about our contribution program, where we publish thought leadership pieces by players in the Southeast Asian startup ecosystem. Feel free to reach out to us on writers@e27.co to learn more about this program. So these are all our social media platforms. Feel free to reach out to us. And then, yes, so that's basically the end of our session today. Thank you very much, Pak Rudy and Tokopedia team.
Thank you. Thank you, 27. Thank you all.
Yes.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. And then thank you for all the attendees for attending today, and stay safe and take care.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.